The number one reason why people get stuck and don't accomplish their goals is because of the cycle of despair. The cycle where you're constantly going through the motions, where your skin is improving, your energy is high, you're building muscle, but then you notice your skin breaking out again, you're gaining some body fat, and you think to yourself, man, I gotta walk in, I gotta make a change. And you feel motivated, you go harder than ever, but then you're back at the same spot breaking out again, your energy is lower, you're gaining fat again. And looking at things in the long term, you look back to see the accomplishments which you have gotten, and they're not there. Because if you're constantly going up and down, you ended up making no progress. You ended up in the exact same place. And I've been through this cycle many times. I used to have a bunch of acne, was skinny, I then built the physique, got rid of breakouts, improved my health, and felt on top of the world, just to then be back at having a bunch of breakouts, look terrible, get bloated, gain fat and not be able to build muscle, and then I'm back at looking shredded, having clear skin. Because I've been in the cycle of despair many times, I've been able to realize what made me fall into it in the first place and what got me out of it. This way I can make sure I don't fall into any cycle of despair ever again. And that's what I'm going to be explaining to you in this video. And the biggest mistake I was doing was thinking that I just had to take more raw action, be more disciplined. And that led to me just keep doing the same things which I was doing, which would lead me to keep falling into the same cycle. If nothing changes, nothing changes. And for some reason, I used to think that as long as I be more disciplined, I just gotta go harder, things would work. Like in this photo right here, I was eating whole foods. And in my mind, I just thought that as long as I keep eating whole foods, I just gotta eat cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, and eat zero junk food, which I was already doing that, I would somehow get clear skin. That's not how it works, because it was only when I did the inner work and reflect on what are other variables that can be applied here. For example, tech abuse, artificial light, which are messing up your mitochondrial health, your energy efficiency, your redox. Bam! I was able to improve my skin. And same thing with burning fat. If you are eating a calorie deficit and you're not being able to burn fat, guess what? Cutting down more calories to the point where you're starving yourself, that's not going to make you magically lose weight. And that's where this mistake of thinking being more disciplined is gonna solve you. And so pick a pen and a paper, be ready to take notes, because we're about to solve these issues of the cycle of despair to make sure you can have linear progress and keep an aesthetic physique, clear skin year around. You don't just have cycles on and off and then you end up in the exact same spot. No, you can actually progress and keep leveling up on this game of life.
Let's say you're this right here, you're this ball, okay, you're this ball, and the environment, which are the other balls, the flow of life, goes this side, then comes back, bam, hits you right here. So now you're forced to go to this side. Oh, life sucks, I'm making no progress. But then, this one comes back, he hit you, bam, oh, I'm a winner, I'm being so productive right now. And you're constantly shifting side to side with no control, because the other balls are the ones who are putting all this energy into you, forcing you to go to each side. So how the hell do we end this and we actually take control of our lives and we break out of any plateau, we break out of any acne, and we stop putting in effort but not seeing the results we want? Because that's most likely why you're here, is because you have been putting effort but not seeing the results you want. And this is what I call the cycle of despair. So how do we end this? Well, right here is the formula. This is what I like to call the coach frame that I must and that I'm constantly reminding myself of when I speak to my clients. When I'm speaking to them, I follow these guidelines right here, okay? So, what is gonna enable us to break a plateau? To start, we have motivation. Motivation, which makes us act in the now to make a change. Something went wrong in our lives, we got our heart broken, we're skinny, whatever it is, and we got bullying, we just got motivated as hell to make a change. And this is strength. It's strength that makes us take action. But then, we eventually get to this point, the cycle of despair, where we're not seeing results. And now you need to do better recognition. You need to understand that you are constantly doing something, but you keep getting the same result, which is not the wanted result. You're showing up every day to the gym, but at the end of the month, your physique looks the same, your skin looks the same. So this is pattern recognition. Okay, I've realized I'm constantly doing the same thing, but getting the same shitty result. Something needs to change. And so this allows us to grow, break through plateaus. And what is it? It gives us understanding. It gives us growth. It makes us grow, okay? And then, in order to sustain this, we need to have inspiration. We need to have a long-term vision so we don't get burned out. So this is what's gonna allow us to sustain, because a lot of people, they are able to get the motivation, let's put in the work, let's do it. Then they get into this plateau, they put in results, but they don't see, they putting in effort, but they don't see the results they wanted. So they either just quit, or they recognize the pattern, they're able to break out of it, but then they don't have the long-term vision, the inspiration. What got them to start was some weak, shallow motivation, first of all. And so now they break out, they get clear skin, they build a physique, but then they stop putting the work that got them there. They don't have the long-term inspiration. They got comfortable here, and bam, they lost and are back in the start. Oh, motivated, let's doing, we're so back. Then they get into the pattern recognition, and this is exactly what the cycle of despair here. It is, man, right here, bro. This is cycle of despair. And so, a quick tip, which we'll go over in other modules, in terms of building a vision board, everything like that. But the first thing here, and that you must analyze right now, pick a paper and write down, bro, why are you watching this video right now? Why are you watching this? Sure, you might say, oh, it's to get seen, it's to build a physique. But that's not enough strong motivation. That's why, when you are gonna break out of this pattern recognition, you realize what's been keeping you stuck, you make some progress, you're back at stake 0, because your why is not strong enough. Think of it this way, it's like an iceberg. There's a iceberg on top, and there's all this ice under the water. Your motivation, oh, I want to get clear skin to attract some girl, whatever it is, that's just so shallow, man. That's so freaking shallow. It is literally the top of the iceberg. It's nothing. There's all these deep layers, like, I want to get clear skin so I'm able to work without overthinking about what I'm eating. I can stay focused all day on my purpose, and this is gonna allow me to have financial freedom and travel the world and inspire other men and change lives, and I can retire my family, whatever. You need to have a bigger motivation, a bigger vision, because this is what's gonna allow you to sustain, to be able to stay on this path without falling into cravings, without falling into snacks, and you're able to do anything in the world, man. Because here's the thing, if I pointed a gun at your family and I told them, never eat this sugar again, never eat these snacks again, you would not do it. So the reason why you keep falling into the cycle of despair is because your why is not strong enough. Otherwise, you would not allow yourself to go into the it's so over, oh, life sucks. Even though the pendulums, the other balls, the environment is pushing you to go to this area, you would not go into it. Because at the end of the day, you feeling like life sucks, life is going bad, it's simply in your mind. Okay, it's simply in your mind, man. And it is a reflection that you're not putting in the hard work that you're capable of. It's a reflection of that. If you feel like you can't win, you feel insecure, whatever, it's because you're not putting the work that you're capable of, your full capability. Because we don't get confident by getting the results, It's not after you get clear skin that you get confident, oh, I got clear skin, or oh, I have the physique, I can be confident now. No, it's about putting in the effort. It's in the process that we get confidence. Right now, man, I want you to go over this and just reflect a bit. Just reflect a bit looking at this and try to recognize patterns in your past life, in your past memories, where you have fallen into the cycle of despair. Let's keep going, bro. How do we actually get out of the pattern recognition? Because we just saw what is gonna take for us to not get stuck over here, okay? We recognize the pattern, we break out of it, but then we don't have the inspiration to sustain and keep the progress, so we're back at stake 0. But now most people, they quit here, where they start, they make some progress, then they get stuck, they put in effort, not seeing results, and they either quit or they get stuck here for years, for months, always doing the same thing, not seeing the results needed. So what is actually gonna take us to break out of this right here? We have already seen what's gonna take us to break out of this, like when we're going this phase, but now this phase, what does it take? So we need to look at this frame, okay? Problem, cause, symptom. Most people, they start getting acne, they start getting brain fog, they start getting fatigue, low energy, whatever, and they complain, oh man, what's going on? I have this problem of low energy, I have this problem of brain fog, I have this problem of acne. No, that is not a problem. That is simply a symptom. A symptom. And most things are simply a symptom. You keep falling into lust, keep falling into bad habits, keep snacking, whatever. That's a symptom. That's not a problem. That's a symptom. And so ask yourself, okay, that's a symptom, me snacking. Then what's the cause? Oh, the cause is that I get home late from work, and I don't have anything else to eat at home. I just have these fruits, these snacks. So this is the cause. So what's the problem now? Okay, the problem is that I every time that I go shopping, I don't buy enough ground beef so that I can do some snacking after the work, but with ground beef, healthy snacking with ground beef. So this is the problem right here. Oh, okay, I'm getting acne. Okay, acne. What's the cause? Okay, the cause is my gut is messed up. I have inflammation issues. Okay, what's the problem? Okay, the problem is I keep eating shit foods, even though maybe they're healthy, yeah, but they're still spiking your insulin, causing hormone imbalances. They're still causing you inflammation, and so it's with this frame that we are able to break out of the pattern recognition. Okay, this is how we do it. We just need to do this frame. Okay, instead of just looking at the symptom, ask ourselves what is the cause, what is the problem, and this can be applied to anything in life, man. In business, in your job, in relationships. It's always going to be a symptom, whatever you're feeling, and you need to go back. Take a look back at what you did before, and usually that's the problem. So here's a good picture to make you understand. If you want to kill this tree, what's the smartest thing to do? It's not by cutting down the leaves, it's by cutting down the goddamn causes. Here are things that you must do mentally in order to win, okay? Detach from the ego. Detach from the ego, man. I'm gonna tell you this story, okay? So, a client of mine recently came to me and told me, man, the other day, bro, I was so pissed off with my dad. I was in the car with him, and I was just thinking, why the hell aren't I at home, man? I could be so productive right now, and I'm just wasting my time here. And then you wanna guess what happened when he got home? He jacked off. He ate some snacks. So literally, he was being more productive when he was in his car with his dad, not doing anything, being unproductive. He was being more productive there because he was not doing any bad habits. And when you're doing bad habits, you're literally taking a step back in your progress. It's literally more unproductive to do a bad habit than to do nothing, of course. So how the hell does this make sense, man? We're frustrated in work, in whatever. I could be so productive. Then we get home and we are sloppy as hell and we do bad habits. The solution is detach from the ego. How do we detach from the ego? What the hell does that even mean? You must understand what exactly is the ego. The ego is what unites the soul, your soul, with the physical world. And so the ego just wants action, just wants everything, just wants, I need dopamine, I need something to happen. The ego wants to have, supercars, money, beautiful woman, wants to have all these results, clear skin, check physique. And he's trying to fill out that void inside of us with all these things. But you must understand, the soul can only be filled within, from within. And you gotta have the mindset, gotta have the frequency, the spirit of, I'm already complete. With or without these things, I'm already complete, bro. I am perfect already, I'm complete. And this way, you are able to stay patient and connected with your inner soul, with God. And you just focus on the present moment of the right now, and everything is gonna, happen. All these things, they're gonna come. It's just a matter of time. I just need to do the actions, it's all good. And this way, with this mentality, when you're in the car with your dad and he's frustrated, I could be so productive, or at work, whatever, you're actually able to stay calm, stay patient, and know that you're gonna be at home, in 1 hour, 2 hours, and when you get there, you work. But right now, I'm just chilling in the car, it's part of the process. Somehow, God wanted me to be here or something, I don't know. So I'm gonna trust in Him. He knows better than me. In this way, you can actually see success from within. Okay, it's about the actions I do, not about the things I have. And so this way, you no longer get frustrated, and you don't get home and start doing bad habits. Pleasing, seeking comfort because I'm frustrated. I don't like this feeling. I gotta seek comfort. That's what's happening. Now you're able to understand this is part of the process, and you gotta have the mindset of, if I can't stay calm in these situations where I'm frustrated, people are disrespecting me, my environment is against me, they're putting food that does not align with my diet or something like that. If you cannot control yourself, stay at peace, not get emotional, then how the hell are you gonna handle when you have full clear skin and you're tempted to eat some junk food? Or when you miss a workout, or tempted to miss a workout, or when you're running a 100 million business, like, you're just on another level, man. This is what is necessary to get there. You need to be able to take over the stress, the feelings you're feeling right now, the frustration, so in the future you're able to deal with bigger problems. Each problem is a blessing, man. The bigger the problems, the bigger the reward. So you just need to look at rewards as you need to look at problems as rewards. And so to stay patient and connected with God, it's very easy to say it like that. Okay, you're already complete, yeah. It's very easy to say that, but we just forget things. You're gonna watch this guy. 2 weeks later, you forgot about thing or something, you gotta rewatch this. And so the way to rewatch, like refresh our mind, it's like a shower, is with meditation. 10 minutes every morning. 10 minutes every morning, so you're able to come back into your soul at any time. Why meditation is so important? And you're gonna say, bro, I can't meditate, it's not my thing. That's exactly why you need to meditate. Because meditation, your mind is when your ego speaks. It's meditation is when the ego speaks. The ego wants, oh bro, let's go do some work. Why are we wasting time out here breathing? What the hell is we doing? And you gotta say to the ego, no. Everything at its own time. My soul is the priority, I'm connecting with it. And then you're also doing the opposite of scrolling on your phone, which is frying your dopamine. You're doing the opposite here. You're creating that focus, So this is the number one thing, okay? This has to do with the mind, keeping yourself at peace. Not getting distracted by the physical world, getting frustrated, and then you fall into bad habits. Which causes, guess what? The cycle of despair. So, next, we have this right here. Stop restarting and resetting your progress. So a lot of people, they start their journey completely motivated. Let's freaking change this, let's get risky. But then, they get to the deep. Now the deep is exactly this. When we start, there's a big result. Like, we start seeing results as soon as we start. You start eating clean, you start seeing the breakouts happening, and then, you keep doing the exact same thing, but the results stop happening. You don't see as many results as you saw in the first week. So this is when most people quit. They stop seeing the results, they're like, screw this, man. They either quit here, or they say, bro, let's restart, let's start over again. I screwed up here, let's just restart. And they stop themselves from reaching all these results. This is how life works. In anything in life, this is how it works. You start something, you see some good results in the start, then it disappears. You keep doing the same actions, and eventually over 3 months, 1 year, 6 months, whatever, now this is when the big reward appears. But most people don't even get there. They just get stuck over here. Because, once again, they are impatient. Right here. They don't feel complete without these things. So, they get frustrated, which makes them quit or say, let's restart. So think about it this way, man. If you were on a race, okay? You're on a race, right here, which is life, you're working for clear skin, for a jacked physique, for a better lifestyle. If somebody passed you, okay? If somebody passed you, or you fell down, like you tripped over and you fell, would you say, bro, oh my god, the race is over, let's restart, and you would run back to the start line and start over again? Would you do that? That doesn't make any sense. But that's what most people do, and what I used to do a lot on my journey, because I was eating clean, trying to get clear skin, but bam, new breakout piece, and I'm like, what the hell, bro, what's going on? I have been consistent for 1 week, 2 weeks with eating clean. Let's restart. Instead of actually taking a look at what I was doing to see what caused this minor breakout, and then doing a small shift, doing a small change to keep myself on the right lane. Every setback, every mistake we do is a insight, is a burning insight. Okay, I'm doing boxing, I get hit in the face. I'm not gonna get unmotivated by this. I'm actually gonna be like, oh my god, this is good. I just learned, okay, when I go a bit forward, it's gonna hit me, so I gotta, keep my hands up, gotta be on focus. And so instead of seeing getting hit, which is, obviously seen as a bad thing, no, you see it as a burning process. And this way you don't do this mindset of, oh, let's restart, let's reset, which puts you back at stake zero. And so you're constantly restarting, doing over things again. The same thing goes with business, man. I can just give you this example. In the past, I was starting dropshipping, oh, let's do this. I'd get a viral video, I'd make some money, and then the views would kind of go down, things were slowing down, and I'd be like, bro, screw this is over, let's just start a new store, let's start a new page. And that was what I was constantly doing, which of course does not allow you to keep making progress, build the skills needed, and break through these plateaus. Break through the deep, bro. You're just constantly restarting, restarting, and you never see the big reward that is after a long period of doing the same action with pure discipline without seeing results. So another example I want to give you, when I was a child, man, I was playing Monopoly with my family or playing chess, and I'd make a bad move on chess or in Monopoly, whatever. And I was like, we gotta restart. Like my brother would eat my queen, and I was like, bro, I did a mistake wrong, I gotta go back and restart. And my brother would be like, what the hell, you can't do that, you already played that, you can't just restart. And then I'd rage quit and I'd start, screw this, and I'd lose on purpose, and the game would completely crumble. The same thing with Monopoly, I just rage quitted. And so this is what happens when you want to restart. when you feel like, we gotta restart, instead of actually being, yeah, I did this mistake, okay, I did it, so I'm gonna see what I actually did wrong, I'm gonna see how to improve, and I'm gonna change it. This is how actually you do it. You don't just restart. Then the next thing is being productive procrastination. So feeling like you're being productive, but you're just procrastinating. So let's say, this is a story right now, let's say that salesperson, okay, knocks on a door to, some house which is on sale, and they're like, hey, how you doing? I'm looking for this house, I think I want to help you with selling this. And the lady's like, screw you, I don't want nobody to get commission of my house, get out of here, I'm not gonna sell to you to help me to sell, whatever. And so you get home and you're like, god damn it, bro, why this happened? I'm gonna change everything, man. I'm gonna clean up my desk, I'm gonna do this plan, and the next week, bro, that's it, Monday next week, we're gonna get out there and we're gonna win. And so you feel like you're being productive by cleaning up your desk, by cleaning up your environment, planning, whatever, but you're just coping. This is all a cope to be comfortable with the boss you just had, and you feel productive. Because the true win, being true productive, would be to go to another house and keep knocking on doors. That's what the true winner would do. And this is a sign of low self-esteem, doing these type of things, which 98% of people have, man, low self-esteem. Let's be real here. And so we're constantly coping. The same thing I found with boxing for me. I just show up to training, I keep training, hitting the bag, doing sparring, whatever, but I don't do the work which is necessary for me to get better, which is for me to go online, watch some videos on technique, analyze what I've done in the past, see what I can improve better, because otherwise I'm just always going to keep getting stuck. In boxing practice, I'm always going to be doing the same thing, not seeing the progress, not getting better. The same thing goes with getting clear skin. You just say, oh, I'm eating healthy. So think, why am I getting breakouts? What's this happening? I'm eating healthy. And you just keep saying, oh, I'm going to keep eating healthy. That's all I'm going to do. Instead of actually doing the high leverage task, which is to look at what you have ate before and see what can be causing these breakouts. And so, man, the solution to your problem is not found in just doing, these things. Oh, clean up the desk, or, keep showing up to practice, or keep eating clean. Sure, those things, they're right. They're not wrong. But in order for you to break this plateau, those are not the key things. You need to do what you are avoiding, what is uncomfortable to do. This is the answer right here. So in me eating clean, okay, I'm eating clean every day, why am I getting breakouts? The uncomfortable thing is not to keep eating clean. To me, that's already comfortable. The uncomfortable thing is for me to analyze what I have hated in the past, to journal it out, and to see what are the breakouts. Why are the breakouts happening? The uncomfortable thing for me to get better at boxing is not to show up on practice. I've already done that for 2 years in a row. Now, that is no longer enough. The next level is analyzing what I've done wrong, seeing the technique, and getting a personal coach, and he constantly telling me what to change, not just eating the bag for no reason. Sure, if I'm a beginner on level 0, me hitting the bag, that's making progress. But now at this level, to break the plateau, to break the dip, I gotta do something else, analyze. The same thing here, cleaning up the desk, planning, that's important, but you usually use this as an escape. You have a loss, you're not seeing the progress you wanted, so you say, oh, I gotta clean the desk, plan. This is not gonna get you results, bro. This is just giving you mental masturbation. You feel good in the head, it makes you feel productive, but it's a lie. It is a lie. And so you need to catch yourself lying. And the answer is always found in what is uncomfortable, what am I avoiding? And so the right framework is this, okay? Burn and planning, 20%, acting, 60%, analyzing and adapting, 20%, and you repeat, okay? This is what actually builds you skills, which enables you to get the result you want, to get risking, to get the physique. It's always going to be found, the result we want, in the skills. It's in the skills, man. It's about being the person with the skills, and this way we are able to attract the result we want. And so it's not about just taking blind action, because if you're doing things wrong, you'll never understand, and you'll just keep getting the same, shady results. It's about learning the actual right information, planning, having a clear structure to follow through every day without, forgetting about the path you're in. Then you act. Then you analyze, you adapt, you keep learning. Okay, I saw I did this mistake, I need to learn more information to know exactly what to change. Then you act again. Okay, I did this mistake, I need to learn. And you learn based on the analysis you did. You don't just learn for the sake of doing it. I'm sure you have watched so many YouTube videos where you don't even remember, you didn't actually burn. You just heard. That's all you did. You just heard in your ears, and then you gone out the other. You just heard, because learning is only burning if it is applied. And this builds knowledge. Information plus action builds knowledge, which builds a skill. And so if you want to, let's say, close, I'm going to give the example. If you want to get clear skin, see this, it's an analogy right now, okay? So if I want to learn how to be better at sales, I'm going to read a book on sales right here. This is the book I'm reading. I'm not reading the book for the sake of reading it. I'm reading it because I'm trying to get better at sales. And then I'm going to analyze the calls I have to see what I need to change. Then I'm going to get a mentor too. I'm going to be in the right community, which you are. And the same goes with getting clear skin, okay? To be able to get clear skin, you need to build the skills to get clear skin, which is knowing the root cause, having the right food, being able to buy the right food, finding the most quality food in the supermarket. These are all skills that are going to allow you to get clear skin. The same thing goes with the sales. Me reading the book, me taking the action, me analyzing is going to give me the skills, good sales skills. So then when the right moment comes, I'm on a sales call and I already have the skills, bam, I'm going to close. I'm in the right time, at the right place, with the right people, so it's just going to happen. And so 20% of the effort we put is going to give us 80% of result. 80% of effort is going to give us 20% of result. So purely focus on this right here, man. In future levels, focusing on like more advanced things, the quality, let's say with water. Right now the main focus, 20% of effort, it's going to give you 80% of result, is drinking spring water. And then the 80% of effort is going to be, instead of, plastic bottles, you get glass bottles. But the main focus that's going to get you the most results is spring water. That's 20% of effort, that's going to get you 80% of result. Your rate of learning, you get a quality input, which is this video right here, plus your rate of change, okay, you understand you were doing something wrong, you do a new behavior now. This is what intelligence is. Intelligence is this right here, is what you learn, plus how fast you make the change. This is intelligence. If you keep doing the same things, even though you just got information to, you're doing this wrong, eating this is wrong, doing this is bad habit is wrong, I gotta change. If you keep doing it, then you're just dumb. Then you're dumb, bro. This is how it works. Intelligence is not about memorizing books like they teach us in school. It's about this right here. And so guys, this was the first module on how to break out of a plateau. And this is exactly the frameworks that is behind getting clear skin and how to literally achieve anything, because this is not just about clear skin and physique, this is about anything in life.
Hey guys, what's up, brother? I wanted to thank you so much because before I actually started working with you, I used to struggle with acne for like 2 to 3 years. I would try to go to the dermatologist, I would try to quit fat, I would try so many stuff that I would see on social media. I would do all the research in the world, and I would still wouldn't be able to have a clear acne like I have now. Like, I'm not perfect, but I've gotten so much better because of the knowledge that I acquired from getting on call one-on-one with you. You actually made me a plan based on my lifestyle. I travel a lot, so sometimes it's hard for me to be on a specific diet of food, and you've actually helped me to feel more confident, because bro, my acne before back then was terrible. You can see a photo, and nowadays I'm here in Miami. I'm able to go to dinners with entrepreneurs. I'm able to network with high-level people who make 8 figures a year. I'm here in Miami. I'm able to go to dinners with entrepreneurs. I'm able to network with high-level people who make 8 figures a year. And I feel very confident to do that because I've been able to improve my skin, improve my health, and I'm so grateful because I wouldn't have been able to know what I know before actually getting in contact with you. All the things that people say on social media nowadays, it didn't work for me until I actually started talking to you and you guided me through the right path. So I wanted to thank you so much, brother. You gave me a lot of results and it's impacted my personal and business and professional life. Thank you.
My name is Raul and I'm 20 years old. And I started training 6 months ago. I didn't stick with it for long because I got lack of motivation. I stopped going to the gym until I came across Dewey on Instagram. I sent him a message and he completely changed my life. He gave me training schedules, nutrition tips, and he boosted my confidence. And that in only 6 months. I've been consistent and motivated for 6 months right now, and it has completely changed my life. Thank you really much.
It's time, my friend. You now have the information needed to fix your mitochondria and achieve clear skin, high energy, good digestion, sharp brain. But here's the thing, information alone will not save you. You must have information and implementation. And so if you want one-on-one help to make sure that you have a structure to just follow through, and I'll keep you accountable to it every single day, making sure that you are following it. So just like that, the results are undeniable to appear because you're simply following the right steps. It's cause and effect. It's that simple. If you want that one-on-one help, that structure, then book a call in the description and we'll make sure you get those results, my man, so you can thrive
have a jacked physique, and feel proud of yourself every day, man. Fulfilling your highest purpose, because that's what we're here for, man. We're not here to struggle and feel sorry about ourselves, you know, about the way we feel, about the way we look. We're here to thrive and focus on higher things, man, on our fullest purpose. So book a call in the description, my man, and we'll sort this stuff out. Let's go, man. See you in the next one.